Yo, what's good guys? Super Cali aka Ronnie here, and today I'm going to help you guys get better at Bloodhunt. If you are someone new to the game who feels like you've been shooting way too many shots into people just to get two-shotted by a katana, or maybe you're just tired of running into an immune enforcer and getting shotgunned in the face. If you are finally tired of all that and just want to start boosting up your KD so you can get some more easy dubs and actually start enjoying the game, then make sure to stay to the end of this video. In this video, I'll be giving you guys 5 steps on how to go from noob to improved. Now, am I the best player in the world? No, but I'm kind of nice. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys some of the stats right here. As you can see, I'm not a super high KD player like Zed or my boy Jordan, but I'm alright though. Although I'm not the best in the world, I feel like I could provide some solid advice to getting you guys better. And I also want to add that I was playing on console not too long ago. Yes, I am now on PC, but don't worry, for you console players, you guys will still find this useful. Step number 1, get a keyboard. Nah, I'm just kidding. You guys don't really need a keyboard. You could still play on console. If anything, your movement might be even better on console. However, if you are on PC using a controller, I do recommend making the switch to keyboard as it will help you out in the long run. Now the real step number 1. Fix your aim. Now, I'm not going to be the guy to tell you to just keep grinding aim labs until your aim is good like I have in the past, which don't get me wrong, that is pretty good advice. But the first thing I noticed from people with not such good aim is that their sensitivity is like 4 times that of the average pro, which is just too fast. They say that they feel cracked, but really they're just making the game harder on themselves. So if you're one of those people, I recommend going to look for someone really good and comparing your sensitivity to theirs. For example, I'm not very good, but my sensitivity would be 800 DPI and about 0.5. For console, I'm not sure what that average sensitivity would be, but I'm sure there's plenty of videos for that. But anyway, yeah, aim is the first fundamental thing you need fixed. So if you feel like you're one of those people with not really good aim, I recommend going and comparing your sensitivity to that of a pro or other really good players you like to watch. But aim is a fundamental issue that you're gonna have to fix first. It's like shooting in basketball. If you can't hit a wide open shot, then you're as useful as Ben Simmons. If you don't get that reference, just know that you had the same amount of points on the court as Mr. Simmons this season. Now, by no means do I expect you to have 100% shroud-like accuracy, but you should be able to hit some shots and as well as have some decent tracking. Step number 2, get your archetype down. Now that we got one variable out of the way, you can start focusing on your preferred archetype. And to be honest, there's only 3-4 archetypes that you should have to decide between. And at the moment, Enforcer is easily the most overpowered with its dash and invincibility, so definitely make sure to try him out. The others that are considered meta right now would be Muse, Prowler, and Saboteur. These are really the only valid options you have at the moment. Now, I don't want to waste your time talking about each archetype since really it's all personal preference and you can go to a separate video dedicated to each archetype. But definitely experiment and decide which one you like best. Do some research and see what's meta at the moment. As you can see from this post on Reddit, most wins are coming from Enforcer, so you can conclude that right now Enforcer is definitely the meta. Now, obviously the meta is susceptible to change, so I do highly recommend that you go ahead and go check what's currently meta. Step number 3, know what guns to use and where to find good loot. Now, there are many guns that you need to avoid, and I'll go ahead and tell you which ones those are really quick. Never touch crossbows, don't use marksman rifles, and don't use the burst. These are guns you want to avoid at all costs. Be smart and only use snipers if you hit your shots, and also realize that you're probably not going to be able to use this gun close range. For close range, you either want a Tommy gun, an SMG, or shotguns. Currently, the most overpowered gun is a pump shotgun combined with Enforcer, since you literally get a free shot of 120 health with your invincibility. Now, the 2 guns that are always solid to have is the AK and the Toggler, but you always want to take the Toggler over the AK. It has the best accuracy and damage output. You can also change its firing mode so that it shoots like an SMG in close range. And if you're wondering about melee, yes, just yes. No, but melee is actually OP and you should definitely learn how to use them. If you didn't know, not only are you doing damage to the opponent, but you're also gaining health per hit with the melee. Now that you know which guns to use, let me tell you how you can find them. Theoretically, these guns are everywhere. My advice is to find one area you really like and get used to that one area and finding all the good loot quickly so that you can get to it before your opponents do. Now let me give you some examples of what I used to do. I used to go to the burning church, race to the top, open the gold chest, and get whatever else loot is up there. But I eventually started getting tired of that since there is a PC spawn right there and sometimes they'll just get in your way and be annoying. So eventually I started going to Terrace. Terrace is sort of the same way. You spawn, race straight to the top, open the chest, get all the other loot around there, and you're bound to get something decent. I advise staying away from the NPC loot since you might get trash and you're also more susceptible to getting third-partied. Which I'll talk more about getting third-partied in step number 5. Now step number 4. It is not 5 o'clock everywhere. This is kind of just a quick tip for you beginners as the title states, but you probably be drinking blood and diablorizing every chance you get. Don't do that. Stop. Don't do that. I rarely Diablorize now, and I only drink the residence if I'm 100% sure I'm safe. If you don't know what a residence is, it's the little boost you get for drinking the NPCs. I recommend going straight for the pink people so that you heal over time permanently throughout the rest of the game. But do it when it's safe. If you have just finished a gunfight and you start Diablorizing or drinking an NPC, you're just giving people more time to third party you. And guess what? That third party will shoot you while you're Diablorizing, letting that guy you originally knocked get back up and kill you and be the reason that your game ended. This tip doesn't seem like much, but I promise you, if you fall into this category, it's an instant KD boost. Step number 5, subscribe, yeah. Alright, I'm just kidding. Step number 5, use your noggin. You might be feeling like everyone on here is a sweat and that you need to be at an extreme level of skill in order to get a win. Well, I promise you, that is not the truth. You can win many fights and many games just by playing smart. I honestly do feel like most of my deaths come from a fight that I shouldn't have taken in the first place. Or just from me being unaware of my surroundings and getting third partied. If you can just learn positioning and avoid getting pinched, you'll get way more dubs than if you try to improve your accuracy and movement. I will admit that this definitely takes some time to learn, but my advice is that you stay here on YouTube and go ahead and watch the top Bloodhunt players and see how they get wins. Now, of course, these guys normally start off their videos with some crazy clips and crazy movement and crazy accuracy. Don't expect to have that. Pay attention onto when they decide to use the sword, on when they decide to use a shotgun, on when they decide to use their ability. Pay attention to all that, as it will help you learn the game and further progress. It's really strategy over skill in almost everything. Of course, there comes a level where skill will beat you, but if you have no strategy, you're gonna lose to somebody with a strategy. Going back to archetypes, play to your abilities. If you die and you didn't use any of your abilities, you're probably not using your noggin. If you find yourself constantly getting third partied or shot in the back, you're probably not using your noggin. Now, of course, it's not always avoidable, but after a loss, you should always ask yourself, how could I have gotten out of that situation, or how could I put the odds more in my favor? Now for my bonus step, number 6, just have fun. If you want to get good at something effortlessly, you have to enjoy it. I know it can be irritating to go through a losing streak, but you have to play through it if you want to get better. And honestly, if you don't enjoy the game, why are you playing it? Just some honest advice from me. If you're not enjoying the game, then really you shouldn't be playing it. You're just wasting your time. If you guys would like me to help you get a win, make sure to drop your guys' tags down below and join the Discord. I'm down to help you guys get some dubs. Well, that'll do it for this video. I hope you guys found this useful, and if you did, all I ask is that you hit the like button. I'll be sure to make more of these in the future. Also, make sure to subscribe to receive these in-depth Bloodhunt guides to take your game to the next level. I believe I gave you guys a good foundation to start getting better at Bloodhunt and start getting some more wins. If you have any other tips for beginners, help us all out and comment them down below. I do respond to all my comments. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Love you. See ya.